This is my review of One Punch Man. Okay, so this episode, as the title suggests, for the most part, just shows what some of the S-Class heroes can actually do, and why they're S-Class for a reason. So in the background of all of what's going on, Saitama is actually participating in the martial arts tournament and actually makes it to the semifinals and then the finals. So that's actually pretty impressive. And I'll get into that fight in a minute. But throughout all of this, we actually see what exactly is going on with the situation in all the different cities and how the S-Class heroes are actually handling it. And we get to see a few S-Class heroes that we haven't actually seen in action before. For example, we finally see what Drive Knight is capable of, and it's pretty amazing. So, we mainly only see like 3 or 4 different heroes that we haven't seen before doing things that we haven't seen them do before. I guess I should go over the most interesting one, who is Pig God. If you guys remember from the S-Class hero meeting way back in season 1, Pig God was this overweight, heavily obese guy who didn't seem like he had any real reason to be S-Class. But as of this episode, we now know he has a reason. Apparently, he's able to ingest pretty much anything without any real consequences to himself. And case in point, he and Child Emperor are facing off against a Medusa-like monster who has poisonous abilities. And Child Emperor uses his ingenuity and quick thinking to actually send out a robot to test to see what exactly her capabilities are. And she eventually finds out that it's a robot and finds Child Emperor hiding under a car. And then Pig God shows up and just eats the monster, even after taking the brunt of her attacks and taking several poisoned attacks to his face and body and pretty much everything. So Pig God's ability is that he can take a lot of abuse because of how fat he is, that really no poison is able to reach his bloodstream like at all. And also he's a big dude. I'm not kidding, he's at least 7 or 8 feet tall and about as wide. So he's a huge dude. And he also shows that he can pretty much eat anything he wants without any real consequence to him. And he points out that even though the Medusa monster was poisonous, he just referred to it as kind of tasty. So clearly Pig God is worthy of being S-Class. If he can take that kind of abuse and just eat the monster that he's fighting, clearly he should be S-Class. And that's amazing. But then we also have Flashy Flash, who moves in a very similar style to Sonic, who we've already seen move. Although the main difference between him is that he's a bit more honorable than Sonic is. And it's heavily implied that they are related in some way. It hasn't been explained how yet, but it shows that they are related. And it also shows, and we also see Flashy Flash effortlessly taking down the squid monster attacking one of the cities with some help from Tornado, who showed up late and just crushed it into a ball. So, and he also apparently doesn't really give a crap what Tornado thinks, because for the most part he's just bitter about the fact that Tornado just kind of showed up and stole his kill. So he's a little bit bitter about that. But for the most part, that's mainly what he's able to do. He's basically Sonic, but just a little bit flashier, hence his name. But yeah, he moves a lot like Sonic, but the difference between Sonic and Flash is that Flash actually generates light as he goes a little bit, like he sparkles, I guess would be the best word. And then finally we have Drive Knight, who apparently is extremely modular and is able to transform his body into anything he needs to effortlessly beat the crap out of any monsters he comes across, which is kind of cool. Drive Knight didn't really have much of an explanation for why he was S-Class. He was just kind of there, and he was also just another robot, according to like and he was just supposed to be like another robot initially, but apparently he's very powerful and is able to just transform into whatever he needs to be to defeat any foe he comes across. And then obviously we see Atomic Samurai, but Atomic Samurai scene is important because it actually, for the most part, we knew the Monster Association was a threat, and we knew the Monster Association was able to create monsters. But in Atomic Samurai scene, we actually see how they create monsters. So he's part of a group called the Holy Order of the Sword, who according to the one guy is tasked with defending the peace and also becoming stronger in the process. So Atomic Samurai is one of those members, and there's 4 other guys and all of their underlings. But then it's revealed that one of the guys is a monster, and he actually reveals how they create more monsters using what he calls a monster cell, which is intended to be ingested. Then it turns somebody into a monster, and yeah, that's kind of bad. And that would explain why the monsters have gone stronger as they've gone on. They've been turning people into apparently they've been turning people into monsters this whole time, and depending on how strong the human was, it makes those monsters stronger as well. So clearly not a good thing. And in this moment, Atomic Samurai finally realizes what the Monster Association is and what they're capable of, and basically declares war on the Monster Association. So clearly now we're going to see some heroes taking on the Monster Association in the near future. So that's clearly going to be a major plot point going forward now. But then finally, as throughout all of this, we finally get the match between Saitama and Tsuru, and it's kind of amazing because Tsuru realizes that Saitama is bored and realizes that Saitama just wants to experience martial arts and Tsuru just wants to have fun and relive the fun that he used to pursue. And Saitama kind of gives him that, and the two do reach a mutual understanding of one another. But for the most part, Tsuru is just kicking while Saitama dodges, and for the most part he just gets for the most part Saitama is kind of getting kicked around a little bit, but isn't exactly getting hurt. But then Tsuru reveals just what he thinks about heroes when Saitama just casually brings it up in conversation, and reveals that he believes that somebody shouldn't just pursue honor for the sake of pursuing honor, and he believes that heroes are basically sacrificing how strong they could be in order to pursue a false sense of honor or something along those lines. And this finally pisses Saitama off, and he allows himself to get kicked in the face, and his wig falls off, and then he completely shreds Tsuru's garments, which caused Tsuru to kind of reel from the shock just a little bit. And because Saitama was wearing a wig, which is considered a headwear or disguise according to the rules, Saitama is disqualified and Tsuru wins by default. So Tsuru doesn't take the win very well, especially since he wanted to win legit. So the fight keeps going, and Saitama reveals just how outclassed Tsuru is to him, because after a while, Saitama realizes and sort of comes to the conclusion that martial arts are just fancier ways of attacking. And for the most part, he is right. I mean, you do need some technique to be able to fight, but Saitama doesn't really need technique. He just kind of is. And then knocks Tsuru out of the ring after a long and grueling battle. And the only person there who actually recognizes him is Snek, who is watching the whole thing, and is the only person who actually knows Saitama. So yeah. And, I mean, Max doesn't recognize him, even though Max was the one who, even though Saitama did kind of take credit for the monster, kicking all of his asses, and all the other heroes who fought the Deep Sea King. So it's kind of surprising that Max doesn't recognize Saitama, at all. I think he knew that a C-class hero actually did defeat the Deep Sea King, but you think he would have looked that up in the time between that episode and now, because it's been because it's been, what, several months since that incident, and he has no idea who Saitama is at this point. That's kind of sad. But eventually Saitama does defeat Tsuru, despite Tsuru's best efforts, and Tsuru is shocked because it's the first time in his life he's actually lost. And then Saitama is chased off by the security guards who are trying to figure out who he is. So, yeah, the episode was mainly to showcase what some of the S-Class heroes can do, and it also reveals how the Monster Association is able to make more monsters. And it also is a learning point for Tsuru, who up until that point hasn't really been able to prove that he's the strongest by fighting any worthy opponents, and he's kind of bored like Saitama is. So the fact that he got his ass kicked so spectacularly in this final scene shows that he's finally opening up as a person and realizing that, hey, maybe I should go easy on the people who are less strong than me, because I got my ass kicked by somebody I perceived to be kind of weak, and now I'm thinking in the back of my head that maybe I shouldn't be doing that. So clearly Tsuru is starting to have a change of heart after this scene, because he realizes that this is the first time he's lost, and realizes that he should probably be nicer to people now. So, and we do finally get one last scene of the monster who was sent to infiltrate the Super Fight tournament. And not surprisingly, it's the monster Goketsu, I believe his name is. I'll show a picture here. I forget what his name is, but he's scary. He has several eyes, and he doesn't look like a nice dude. So, and Genos even remarks after waking up that he didn't really stand a chance against Goketsu. So clearly he realizes just how much a threat he really is, and also realizes that he's heading toward the tournament, and realizes that he should probably warn everybody there. So that's kind of a problem. We've got a monster on the way to the Super Fight tournament, and that's probably going to be the end of the Super Fight arc. But yeah, clearly Saitama is going to be in trouble because he kind of snuck in with a wig. So clearly Saitama is going to be screwed, and also everybody else is going to be screwed because there's a monster on the way. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this episode was mainly to show where monsters come from and to showcase what the S-Class heroes can actually do. So, if you guys did enjoy this episode of One Punch Man, what did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out my Facebook and my Twitter in the description below for channel updates and the like. And also, if you guys did indeed enjoy the content and want to help see it grow and improve, then be sure to check out my Patreon description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month, and it really helps me out, so I would definitely appreciate it if you did that, because I like making videos for you guys, and a Patreon is the best way to help me make them. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace! Well, thank God there was a checkpoint and a life here. I think they knew somebody was going to screw this up. I have a feeling they knew somebody was going to screw this up.